Let's go to the futures first. They are provided to us by bar chart. And over here in the corn market, we had a higher overnight trade that flipped around, went negative at the open. Now we've got March corn up 1/2 cent at 451.5. New crop December's up 1 1/4 at 425 3/4. On to the soybean market, where here again we had a higher overnight trade. We went double digits lower at the open. We've come back a ways. We went all the way down to 1245. We're at 1256.5 now, and we are down 7 cents. What a wide trading range here, though, of from 1245 all the way up to 1279. Then we go out here to the March. We're down 6.5 cents. The May is down 6 3/4. The wheat market was lower on the overnight trade and now double digits lower on the March. In Chicago, down 12, 615. New crop July is down 9, 606 3/4. For the Kansas City wheat market for March, down 14 3/4 at 574 1/4. July is down 14 cents. It's at 579.5. The Minneapolis wheat market for March down 10 1/4 at 572.5. The new crop July is down a dime at 588. And for the cotton market, 38 points higher for March, 76.58. December's up 30 at 74 cents per pound even. So what about this turnaround here in the corn market? To talk to us about this is Chris Swift with Swift Trading in Nashville, Tennessee. Chris, we a little bit higher on the, we were even stronger than this on the overnight trade, but we did a little bit of a pullback, and now we're pushing higher again in the corn here. Why the dip here this morning?
Good morning, John. I'm not real sure. I haven't seen anything overnight, and I sure hadn't seen any of the rain projections that may be South America, but we put on quite a bit of premium over the last several days, and I just have a feeling more than anything you're seeing some profit-taking more than a turnaround move one way or the other.
Is that kind of how you explain this soybean market as well then?
I think so. You know, in the overnight, we were pushing $12.80 a bushel, and there's some people out there that said, you know what, let's see if we just can't take some profits on this, and we'll see if we can buy it back a little bit cheaper. That's really the only thing that I can see out there.
Chris, when you've seen the market move in these kind of fashions before then, a little bit of a push, and you mentioned the 1280 level, and that's what we got up to here on the overnight trade, then a pullback. Is that healthy or unhealthy for a market when it's trying to reach an objective like $13 soybeans?
Well, it has to have some kind of breathing. Everybody has a little bit of change of opinion, and, of course, we know that greed and fear move that market more than anything. With a little bit of greed here, having the market moved up almost $1 a bushel in the last 6 trading days, that's probably, again, more likely than not what you're seeing. But, yes, every market needs a little breather regardless of whether it's moving higher or lower, because you finally reach that point that somebody says, at this price, I'm not willing to pay for it or I'm not willing to sell it.
Interesting. All right. Let's talk about the livestock trade next and their overall protein complex. That's coming up with Chris Swift right after this on this Monday version of the Marketing Report. Let's take these futures one at a time here and go through these with Chris Swift and get his opinion. That December live cattle contract started out a little bit higher here this morning. It's up 37 now at 112.52. February up 60. April up 37. Chris, last week for review, we traded mostly at 110. We had a few 109, but we were about $2 higher overall last week for cash cattle. Well, this week, we've got another holiday coming up here. Even though the trade will have a full day of trade on Thursday, well, Friday's still New Year Day. We're trading at 112.65. We did $2 better last week. What do you think about this week's cash cattle trade? Do you think we'll converge here on this lease contract?
Probably so, and it may be closer to 111 than it is to 112, but I could see 112 too. There's not seemingly a big push or need for anything right now going into the first of the year. Grocery stores seem to be caught up real well, and I have noticed some really good specials at the grocery store, so it doesn't look like they're having a great deal of run on the grocery store shelves yet, and I can't imagine after Christmas and all of the eating and holidays and stuff that we've had that there will be any kind of great big run for beef right now.
That's an excellent point. What about this feeder cattle market? We've got the January feeders up 7 at 141 even.
Yeah, in the feeder cattle market, the cash market has firmed up a little bit. We've seen the index now up around 139. So the index coming up has converged the basis with the futures now, and probably going to keep that way. I think that as we continue with lower numbers to work with coming into the spring, it's just going to become that much more obvious that we have turned a corner in our production cycle.
March feeder cattle up 32 at 142.65. April up 60 at 144.52. You know, we really haven't had any big major storms to take any weight off of these cattle. Over in the hogs, though, go ahead. What's your thought there?
The hogs and pigs report showed for the first time a little bit of a decline in the production of hogs, about a 1% across the board. That's the first time we've seen negative numbers or under 100% in a lot of quarters. But we're a little bit softer this morning, and the pork market hasn't really done much as far as the index. Indexes continued to slip just a little bit. Our export sales have slowed down, and we know that China is just on a rampage of increasing their pork production.
February hogs down 60 at 66.35, April down 55, and May down 50. Is there anything in this hog complex then, technically, that we can take away from all this, Chris?
Not really. It's been very volatile. It's in a big congested, about an $8 trading range, and so until really you get much below 64 or much above 72, you're going to be stuck in a trading range here for a month of Sundays.
Interesting point then. So is it wait until after the first of the year to really find some kind of a direction for the entire protein complex?
Yeah, you need the hospitality and the restaurant industry to come back strong again. Those would help the pork a great deal. Until you see some of those industries come back on a bigger level than what they are right now, I think pork's just going to struggle a little bit.
Chris, thank you very much. Hope you have a good day and a happy new year to you. And there is the very latest from the market desk. Tammy, back to you.
All right. Thanks, John. Well, legacy of service, how the organization has made a difference for this past member and how he's passing down that legacy.